Everyone's asking how much Bitcoin the US really holds. Maybe the better question is, how much do they want to own? With Bitcoin treasury companies popping up globally and sovereign wealth funds quietly stacking, time is running out for the US to lock in a strategic position before the price goes up. But there's a bold new plan for stacking Bitcoin in the reserves that's gaining ground at the White House. One that could rewrite the rules of monetary history. Let's mine deep. After Trump signed the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, or SBR, into law, Bitcoiners were hoping for a big announcement on when the US government was finally going to place a buy order. Maybe a steady stream of daily Bitcoin buys like El Salvador. Maybe orange dots like Sailor. But instead, it's been radio silence. The Treasury is still combing through seized Bitcoin from Silk Road bust and money laundering cases. But the real play might not be about counting on old coins at all. What we're hearing now is a new plan on the table to stack Bitcoin in a budget-neutral way. A critical angle if this is ever going to pass the Senate. And based on Senator Cynthia Lummis' plan, this is where things get interesting.
So if we keep our physical gold, the gold that's in Fort Knox, but take the gold certificates, bring them up to current fair market value, and then convert them to Bitcoin, we can achieve President Trump's goal of having this happen on a budget-neutral basis, meaning no new taxpayer dollars would be needed to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve.
If you're stuck spending dollars, at least stop earning fiat rewards. Use Fold and earn Bitcoin on everyday spending, groceries, travel, even paying bills. And take advantage of Bitcoin rewards with merchants you might already shop with. It's the easiest way to stack sats. So, if you're in the United States and you don't have Fold yet, what are you doing? Buy, earn, and save in Bitcoin, all in one app. Fold is the ultimate toolkit for making Bitcoin savings a daily habit. Right now, the US Treasury values a bunch of leftover gold certificates from 1971 at a very outdated price, just $42 an ounce. But if they revalued it to the real market price, which is closer to $3,300 an ounce, it would instantly make their balance sheet look way stronger, like $850 billion strong. And with a stronger balance sheet, the Treasury could borrow against that gold to buy Bitcoin without adding to the national debt. Now, it would require congressional approval and a major shift in the US monetary policy. But as far as budget-neutral options go, it's one of the most realistic ways to stack 1 million Bitcoin without spooking the bond market. And according to Hines, executive director for the President's Council on Digital Assets, the US government is taking this space race seriously.
I think that we made it very clear in the way that we structured the executive order that we recognize Bitcoin as being unique. And a question that I get from journalists all the time is, how much do you want? And I think that's really a silly question. That's like asking any country, how much do you want of any asset with intrinsic stored value? You want as much as you can possibly accumulate. You know, there are stipulations in the EO. We must do this in budget neutral ways that don't cost the taxpayer a dime. But as the president likes to say, we have a lot of high IQ people in this administration. Definitely a sort of space race as it pertains to accumulation of this asset. What we're looking for here is, what is the most practical? What can we move on in the quickest fashion? And how can we start this accumulation process really in the most expeditious manner possible? So those ideas will likely be prioritized, and then we can add to those as we continue to move forward.
So why should you care? Because while the US takes its measured approach to building a strategic Bitcoin reserve, you don't have to wait around for politicians to figure this out. Look, real talk for a second. Bitcoin was never about government validation. Pretty much the opposite, actually. Bitcoin is about taking control of your own wealth, building your own reserve, and opting out of the chaos that comes with centralized planning. Even the CEO of BlackRock gets that part. The real progress on the SBR is all happening behind closed doors. And the bullishness from Lummis, Hines, Trump, and the entire team in the White House clearly hasn't changed an ounce. Let them figure out the details. But you, watching this right now, nothing is stopping you from building your own digital Fort Knox. Sell the chairs, skip the lattes, cut the dead weight streaming subscriptions, and start stacking. Now, let's go backstage with Brian Harrington of Fold to chat about how you can start growing your own strategic Bitcoin reserve in a budget neutral way.
I say people on the internet, like just me as Brian, like I talk to just US based people because that's what I'm passionate about. I've been working on the circular economy in America personally, like as a hobby for a lot of years now. That's the reason why I'm very passionate to work at Fold, because I truly believe it's the number one tool for pulling Bitcoin into your personal finances. And the more individuals that do that, like the individuals doing that, the companies doing that, the country doing that, is what, physically creates a bullish future in America. It's important for people to build their own strategic reserve. Like that's why I'm passionate about Bitcoin personal finance. And that's why Fold is that central place for people to manage their personal finances in Bitcoin and dollars, because there's a lot of information out there. You're right. Like 4 companies, 4 countries, like that's getting a lot of headlines right now. But no, you as an individual need to find a way to just acquire Bitcoin as you're managing your day-to-day finances. And that's exactly what Fold is all about. So whether it's, spinning the daily wheel, or whether it's earning rewards on our merchant offers just through day-to-day places where you already shop, that's the entire point of Fold, giving you little bite-sized ways to DCA Bitcoin as you go along, earn Bitcoin on merchant rewards.
It's sort of like, for example, like those points that you have on your credit card, but instead of having points, you have sats.
It's exactly that. And so, yeah, instead of your rewards kind of just being this just ambiguous number, like, no, this is Bitcoin, like cold hard Bitcoin, only 21 million. As you said, again, companies are stacking it, countries are stacking it. You as an individual need to be stacking it and earning it as rewards in a number that, can't be changed away.
And can they link their Fold account to their cold storage, or how does that work? Or you just send it to any Lightning wallet that you have?
Absolutely. So yeah, you can withdraw on chain to any wallet that you want. When you stack up to a certain amount of rewards, or when you buy Bitcoin, yeah, you can always withdraw.
For example, you know how, the whole talk about Fort Knox and how they have like all the Fort Knox gold calculated $42 an ounce. So let's say if the US revalues its gold to buy Bitcoin, should companies like Fold brace for a mainstream wave, or are we still early?
So, Fold is bringing the Bitcoin mainstream wave, like regardless of what they do. Like we just launched our Bitcoin gift card, which is the easiest way to buy and gift Bitcoin, like at regular, online retailers. And so Fold is like the mass consumer Bitcoin brand that is taking Bitcoin mainstream. So if you have that friend out there that is listening to headlines, whether it's about gold or macroeconomics or whatever, and they just want that mainstream consumer way to get a simple app on their phone that strips away all the complexity, Fold is that. Fold is it.
Does Fold plan to evolve beyond rewards and become sort of like the new financial system, like the companies that we're seeing, like 21 Capital, MicroStrategy, all these? Is that like a Bitcoin bank, would you call them?
Will, our CEO, has done a lot of long form podcasts on kind of the future of Fold. And I have this sentence. It's just, when you stack, we stack. Like Fold carries Bitcoin on the balance sheet. We want you to carry Bitcoin on your personal balance sheet. And so, yes, we are the pure play Bitcoin financial services company listed on NASDAQ. And yeah, the future is Bitcoin financial services.
Do you have any sort of like success stories from longtime Fold users that you can share?
I guess on the spot, I'm going to use my own just because it's the one very top of mind, but we've actually this is a good one. Like if you have stories out there about how Fold has helped you stack Bitcoin along the way, like people will tweet their big, we call it the 10 million sat club. There's the 10 million sat club, people that have earned over 0.1 Bitcoin from just living their daily life, kind of on Fold. And so that's a big one. We also have people that have won the Bitcoin on the wheel that have, that's gone on to do a lot of positive things in their life before. And so we want to tell those stories on our blog. And so if you have those stories, definitely send them inbound. For me, the one that just kind of pops to mind is when my wife and I were so we've always done Bitcoin together, but something that kind of helped us do Bitcoin together more, honestly, was the gift cards, like on Fold, showing that you can use Bitcoin to purchase the gift cards or earn Bitcoin when purchasing the gift cards, just fused Bitcoin into our day-to-day finances. And so like a lot of your work is Bitcoin as money and the circular economy and things like that. And I think when you can show your partner who may be less into Bitcoin than you are that, hey, this can like work like money and you can bring goods and services into your house, that creates a light bulb moment that honestly increases your ability to, hold more Bitcoin as a couple because it's an active thing in your life.